Hey everybody, welcome back here for game 2 of the last day of the opening week of the Black Twitch League Season 11. My name is Yanni. I am here with Ito once again bringing you action for game 2. So we are finally here into picks and bans. The Dryads had a pretty convincing, clean win over the Cocoa Beans in the first game, but now the sides are swapped. The Dryads will be over on the red side. Cocoa Beans on the blue side. Cocoa Beans crack open the banning with that Bard. Meanwhile, the Dryads open with a Lux. Bard is a pretty consistent ban.
Yeah, you know what? I was like, I haven't looked at the Arthos OP.GG recently. Let me open it up. There has to be a reason. And now looking at this Diamond 2 support, he
Seraphine's
has.
gone. Thank God they banned the Seraphine. Cocoa
Yeah,
Beans.
I knew they had to do it. They had to. They have to respect it. They absolutely have to, right?
Yeah, your bad connection was probably like, please get me out of here. I don't want to play against that thing anymore.
Yeah. So again, more information on Artho there, the Diamond 2 support that is playing for Dryads. He's Diamond 2, and he's of his 160 something games, it looks like 150 of them are on Bard at the 4.02 KDA and a 59% win rate. And his next most played after 155 games on Bard, it's 16 on Lulu. So yeah, he's a Bard one trick. Yeah, you have to respect it. You absolutely have
Yeah,
to ban it. You
yeah,
absolutely have to ban it. Although
this
I
is
would
great.
love to see it in that uncapped tournament I was talking about that we had a few weeks ago. There was a player who came through and was just smurfing on the entire tournament with Bard every single game, and it was so beautiful to watch. He was like the grandmaster Bard one trick, and it was just beautiful. It was so amazing. I love to see good Bard gameplay. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see Artho get to flex on it today. But hey, that Seraphine and that the Sona Botlu is very entertaining to watch as well. And ooh, some more Tom Kench. I think we saw the mid lane
Unbench the Kench.
yeah, unbench the Kent, unroll the tadpole in our first series of the day. I believe it was the mid lane of why can't I think of their it was Quest. It was Quest team. I can't think of their name.
A
Blonde
team
Toad.
called Quest.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. Oh, that would have
Come
been amazing.
on.
But that is not what it is.
Oh,
But that
can't
was the
be.
mid lane
Oh.
for Blonde Toads earlier. That was Quest Hodgson, I believe, was the IGN, and he was playing a lot of Tom Kenchman, and he was messing people up. From what I saw, he was absolutely messing people up with those TK plays. So definitely interested to see Tom Kench locked in here for Coco because we'll see where it goes. I know Tom Kench recently got a I don't know how
All
recent it
right,
is.
all right, all right. Tom Kench is way different. You know what Tom? I mean, we were watching the first game, I assume, so you
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
how
Yeah,
different
I know.
Tom Kench is now.
Yeah, I see that there's definitely some difference. It looks like his W is like his ultimate,
Yeah.
and then he pops
So
people up.
so his
Like, what is going
Devour
on
Devourer
here?
is now his ultimate. His old
Oh,
ultimate is now his E. So now he's got some pretty solid engage tools, which admittedly is very nice. Like they changed the entire concept of the champion. The champion used to be like, okay, I'll take our hard engage, we'll try to get to the backline or something. But sometimes it was like very telegraphed, unless you got like really late into the game. And now it allows like Tom Kench to not be like, okay, you can't just if you're gonna play him support, you can't just play safe all game long. You're more of an engaged support now. But obviously that shifted him into other roles, and unfortunately, it's caused a lot of pain for a lot of top laners and even mid laners. I mean, he's just really impressive. He can take so much damage. He gets so much health back with the gray health. It's really irritating to play against, and I personally hate seeing it in my games. So hopefully this
yeah.
pick of the
It
Tom
looks
Kent
like
doesn't
quite
tilt the
a finish.
Dryads out of existence.
It seems
To
like
get
quite
caught
a finish.
up to get caught up on the picks and bans, as you mentioned, the Seraphine gone, the Nocturne gone, is Shifo is definitely a Nocturne purveyor for sure. The Dryads opted to get rid of the Nautilus in the set, so some hard engages out of there. Cocoa Beans rounded off their first half of the draft with the Ezreal Fiddlesticks. Seems kind of it's interesting. So like we saw the Fiddlesticks was banned in the first game, and now it's been picked around this game. I don't know if Ezreal or Tom Kench as champions are going to be able to follow up on the Crowstorms enough. But on the Dryads, we have Caitlyn, Leona, Camille. Got some hard engage. Camille, Bruiser going to deal a lot of damage, and Caitlyn is going to be hopefully pretty safe poking from the back line. Is going to have a pretty fair time against an Ezreal for sure.
Hmm. Interesting. I have just a thought. I'm having a thought. I'm thinking Camille, I believe, used to be just because Shifo played top lane last season, and I believe Yuka, they play on the same team, played jungle. And
Ooh,
we
maybe a
did we
swap?
did we did recently allow in our rules for like position swaps to happen in like before a game. So I wonder if they're thinking of doing that. But I wouldn't expect that Shifo's been playing pretty much primarily jungle. But it's just a thought. But I love to see Camille just brings a lot to a team.
That
She
would be
definitely does a lot.
pretty interesting. Like the swap would be pretty interesting because you could just determine like, hey, I don't like playing into this champion. I'm really bad into this champion, or I don't have like good experience into this champion. And then you can be like, all right, well, the jungler and the top laner can swap around. Shifo might just be much better into a Tom Kench or into Sunset Deserter, and then Yuka can just chill out in the jungle and have a pretty good time. There's just a lot of versatility to be had there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So we were having those discussions. Think this team. It was something that we had like a captain's chat like
mhm.
on Thursday this last week, and it was like a discussion that we had then, and I kind of made that decision then. So I think everyone should be aware of it. I told all the captains about it. I'm not sure if they're thinking about doing that right now, but this would be the first case of it being done. If it was something that they were thinking of doing right now, so it'd be very interesting. And oh my goodness, is that real? Oh my
Yeah,
god, I'm
I guess
so
it
excited
is.
to see that. I love
Nidalee
to see
locked in.
Nidalee jungle is so exciting to me. Nidalee's like one of my favorite champions to play, except for I'm so bad at her. Just like she's like one of those champions that has such a high ceiling of potential. Seeing good Nidalee is just so amazing. I'm just like, man, if only I could land every Q like that and just be super aggressive. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to see, and it's fun to do whenever I'm having like those good Nidalee games. But it's like the pressure is so on because if you do not get ahead, if you did not take advantage of her early game power, then you're just like a useless champion. Like Nidalee late game without being ahead doesn't do much. You like throw some spears, but it doesn't really hurt that much. You heal, and then yeah, if you're not ahead doing lots of damage, then it's not super great. But it's an amazing early game champion, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's see if whoever will be jungling for Dryads can make something of it.
Yeah, Nidalee, a good Nidalee is so fun to watch. You could see it in the movement. You can see the way they move around, no wasted movement, whether you're in human form or cougar form, able to hop over those tricky walls. I've been playing for a long time, and I like to think that I can get skill shots over walls. But when I play champions like Nidalee or Riven, like I can't even go through those thin walls, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Coco
Yeah.
Beans, they've rounded out their draft. They've leaned into the Wombo combo. They've gone with Morgana Oriana. You got some Soul Shackles. You got Shockwave along with the Crow Storm. It's pretty horrifying. Oriana can throw the ball on the fiddlesticks over the wall, and if they now the problem is they could give it away, but if the Dryads aren't paying attention, it might be like, hey, where's Oriana's ball? Oh no, now it's on top of us because we just got Crow Stormed. Or they could just easily follow up a Crow Storm with a Shockwave. Meanwhile, the Dryads, they will get that last pick, Cassidon, and I think that this pick is great. You get it into a Fiddlesticks Morgana Oriana. You get that extra magic damage shield on your Q. You got the passive that reduces the magic damage that you take. Oriana is not a huge early game threat for damage. Typically not a champion you're going to take Ignite on. I personally love maxing W on Oriana, and you can get a lot of damage out of that. But, I mean, I think Caston's going to be able to, hang on through the first 6 levels, hit level 6, and there's going to be a problem all over the map. This team for the side of the Dryads is so lean and so their movement is just going to be all over the charts. Camille, Nidalee, Cassidon, all of these champions can cheat on their movement. Nidalee gets the extra movement speed. You can dash forward in the Cougar form. Camille with the hook shot. Cassidon with the Void Walk. Like, they will be moving around the map much faster than the Coco Beans.
That is very true. I will say the Cassidy to me was surprising because I feel like whenever you play, I guess Nidalee still has top lane options. I feel like whenever you play Nidalee or like an early game champion, you're trying to get lanes that'll get some type of priority to take advantage of like your aggressiveness or lanes that have easy to game because of their CC. Cassidy does not fit that profile, but Cassidy does give them that late game insurance and is an AP assassin and was really good into all the magic damage of Coco Bean. So there's definitely a lot of positives for the Cassidy. Just my personally, I was a little bit sad. I was like, because I want to see Nidalee pop off like really hard in the early game. So I was like, ooh, Cassidy is a little bit harder to do that. But I mean, at the one hand, you could say Oriana will likely push into Cassidy, and that'll give Nidalee more gank opportunities. Just Cassidy won't be too much help in those situations.
Yeah, and what the Dryads are doing here is they're kind of leaning into the pick composition. Sure, like Leona is really impactful in like big team fights with wombo combos and stuff like that with the solar flare, but is also excellent when it comes to picking champions off. Camille, Nidalee, and Kassadin, post 6 Kassadin obviously, are adept at doing that. They are the champions that you need to worry about when you get solo ulted by a Leona in the jungle. One of them is coming. It certainly ain't going to be Caitlyn. Caitlyn's going to be bringing up the rear a little slowly. It's probably going to hit you with the ace in the hole from across the map for, with the once they go full lethality and deal about 1,000 damage. But Camille, Nidalee, and Kassadin, they'll come right over a wall and you will be in such trouble. And the thing is, Fiddlesticks, Orianna, the two champions that are going to be alone most of the time, are not. They don't have the tools to be able to deal with that sort of thing.
True. Yeah, Sean Antonio in the chat just said, "I love Fiddle, but he's gonna hate this game." And I totally understand what you're saying there. This does not look like It's like into a Nidalee as Fiddlesticks, and then you see this other CC, and then you see the Camille, see the Leona. If the Leona's out there roaming, the Fiddlesticks can just this is a potential that Nidalee just starts eating Fiddlesticks alive in this early game here, but we'll see.
Collegiate coach Sean Antonin, collegiate coach, definitely with the analysis. Yeah, as we mentioned, the Caston's gonna have a really good time into this Coco Beans team. All of a sudden, I feel like outside of team fights, this team just lacks a whole lot of damage. Like, sure, Ezreal's going to be your late game insurance policy, which is fine. Like, you're totally fine with having an Ezreal as your late game damage. The problem is, Kassadin just does more.
Yeah. Although I am an Orianna player, like I am a control mage main.
We play a lot of the same champions.
I like a lot of control mages in the mid lane. To me, Orianna is the quintessential mid laner that every mid laner should have in their pool, especially if you play competitive. Orianna just does a lot of great things for a team. I love her as a champion. My voice is dying.
I feel that. I've been playing. I learned very early on. I decided very early on I wanted to play Orianna. When I don't know if you remember back in the day when you used to be able to click on the champion profiles in the client and it would show like the quote difficulty of the champion. I was like, all right. Said to my friends, my silver 5 self, I'm gonna play the most difficult champions ever. So I picked up Syndra, I picked up Cassiopeia, I picked up Orianna. I don't really play too much Cassiopeia anymore, but I play a ton of Orianna, pretty decent at Syndra. I was playing on a team back in the Silver 5 days. I'm like, don't worry, boys. I'll learn the most difficult champions, and I only picked Orianna ever. They're like, do you pick anything other than Orianna? I'm like, well, if it's open, why wouldn't I pick it? It's so impactful.
Yeah, definitely sometimes I was essentially an Orianna one. Like Orianna has been my most played champion.
It wanted me to pick other champions, and I'm like, why, guys? Like, there's no reason to. She's Orianna open. She's good.
She's such a good, like, overall, just generic champion. She does everything that you need. Exactly.
Yeah, she can like fit into any team combo. Like if you don't even have a wombo combo, like you can use the shockwave for picks. It's totally fine. All right. So looking at these teams, I mean, I feel like the Dryads. I mean, that they're going to take control early on, and Cass and Nidalee and Camille are going to run all over the jungle. But even in the late game, like the Coco Beans, they wouldn't be able to match like this incredibly difficult 1-3-1. Like Camille Caston on the side lanes, like nobody can match them. I don't even think that Tom Kench and all of his tadpole power can match either of those champions. It's just going to be a really rough time for the side of the Coco Beans. They're going to have to get ahead early, hit them hard, hit them fast. Once you hit level 6, you need to be making some big plays. I need to see Fiddlesticks getting a jungle camp kill, hitting level 6, going immediately to the bot lane. Or maybe even sitting in a lane without being seen, absorbing some experience to level 6, boom, Crow Storm. Like, you need to get that, you need to be able to spot out these wards. The laners are going to have to be really smart about where all the wards are, because now the vision's there. Like, Fiddlesticks is just going to be a scarecrow standing in the field in the end.
Fiddlesticks to get a hurt early to make his Crow Storm a big threat, says Cursive. Yeah, and the question is, how does Fiddlesticks do that? Will Fiddlesticks be able to like really take fights against Nidalee early? I can't imagine that being the case.
All right.
I feel like, to me, a large important part for their game plan here is I think Orianna has to take advantage of her early game priority she should have. I think early game Orianna should have priority over Cass. And you have your auto attacks, you have your Q, you should be able to clear faster. You should for the most part be more free to roam and help your jungler than the Kassadin should be able to. And I think maybe with that you can get some help Fiddlesticks get ahead.
So you run into a fundamental issue here, right? So I don't know too much about the Tahm Kench Camille matchup, so I'm not quite sure who's going to have the priority here.
I
If
really
she,
can't talk
if
about it.
if Shifo goes toward the bottom side of the map early, then you have a problem as Fiddlesticks Oriana because you want to try to force a fight against Shifo like that early if you're trying to get ahead because Oriana's going to have the mid priority. The problem is the bot lane of the side of the Dryads should have priority with Caitlyn and Leona. Piltover Peacemaker is the ability for priority in the bottom lane. If you want priority, you are queuing the wave as it comes in every single time. Ezreal does not have the pushing power to be able to fight against the Caitlyn. So if Shifo just heads to the bot side, takes that bot crab, like all of a sudden Oriana can't roam down. Morgana's not going to be able to move. That Caitlyn Leona are going to be able to get there first, and all of a sudden you're going to find yourself in a 3v2. Now, if you go to the top side, however, Shifo can just decide, all right, we're not going to go there. So, like, I think it's going to be a big deal about spotting out where Shifo is and trying to pick those fights as you have an advantage. We will take a moment for a very short break as we try to get ourselves oriented for the observer spot, and we will see you in probably just a couple of seconds. Hey, all right. I promised it wasn't going to be that many seconds, so I hope I didn't betray your trust too much. But we are here for Game 2 of this best of 3 series between the Dryads and the Coco Beans. The Coco Beans, they fell in Game 1. It was pretty rough. They went down with they had a little bit of fight in them, but they struggled mightily. Hopefully, this Game 2 will be a reversal of fortune for them. They will be on the blue side this time around. The team remaining the same: Sunset Deserter in the top lane, Princess Jenny in the jungle, Kenzie in the mid lane, Your Bad Connection, and Miss Apples in the bot lane. Meanwhile, on the side of the Dryads, it's the same. It's Yuka in the top lane, Shifo in the jungle, Tanner in the mid lane, Pixelwolf and Artho doing the dirty work down in the bot lane. The teams they've set up for the line of scrimmage, it's NFL season, and they're just chilling out, having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And it was mentioned here, like if Fiddles was looking to fight early, why did they choose Fiddles? And the thing is, I don't think Fiddles was actually meaning to fight early. I think whenever Fiddles was selected, I don't think it was expected that there was going to be like a Nidalee over there, or like they were going to fight her. I think they had only seen the Caitlyn and the Leona. So now the Fiddles is kind of like an awkward spot where Fiddles now feels like not ideal, but Fiddles is Princess Jenny's most comfortable jungler. That's why it was banned in the first game, I believe. I was looking at that op.gd. So it does look like we'll see. Fiddles is like a comfort pick here for sure.
Yeah, and that's really the risk you run when it comes to playing those comfort champions. You'll have those situations where you go and you pick your comfort champion, and all of a sudden you're like, well, you know what? This actually is a terrible matchup for me because it's going to get banned away in the second phase. And champions like Fiddlesticks can't be disguised. Like, you're not going to play that in any other lane or anything like that. So you're just going to be forced to, all right, well, here's the Fiddlesticks. Like, hopefully this isn't a problem. I want to give a huge shout out right now to the bot lane of the Coco Beans. Your Bad Connection and Miss Apples are running the lane right now, and that is huge for the side of the Coco Beans. Like that's so good for them right now.
We have the spectator bug again for the chat. He's interesting starting. Goldwhipper saying interesting starting on his by Kate. And I was like, oh, the cold in the pot. And I looked at the stream. Oh, you mean the nothing? Oh, yes, nothing would be very interesting.
Don't worry. My spectator is fine. I'll be able to give perfect updates. We're all good there.
Yeah, mine is fine as well. But
All
yeah,
right,
that
excellent.
also these teams also did not start off with bonkers amounts of money. You see that they have 9,000 here at 3 minutes in. It's actually 4.7k. It is the kills and the gold at the top of your screen will be doubled because of the spectator bug, but just to try and disregard it.
Riot really needs to lean into this, like, and make a game mode out of it. Like everything is doubled. When you get a kill, it counts for two, so you
Yeah.
get like double the gold and everything like that. And I mean, Nunu can be banned because it's just a snowball as an engagement onto the top lane. The Sunset Deserter, they're gonna have to flash out of there. Great gank by Shifo to kick things off. Flash burn out of the Tom Kench in the top lane. The priority was made on the top side of the map for Yuka. Shifo going to be able to take out that top crab. Meanwhile, Princess Jenny got the bottom crab. But again, we're just sitting with two ships passing in the night right now. And I don't know if that's where you want it to be. So it's really going to be on the team of the Coco Beans to hit level 6 quickly. Princess Jenny getting in there, trying to make big plays happen. Pixel Wolf, the heal gets burned. The engagement onto Princess Jenny, the ignite down. That'll be first blood going over to Miss Apples, but Princess Jenny falls to Artho. And now Miss Apples has to get out of there, but luckily the Cassidon has been pushed in, so they will be able to get out just fine. So a 1-for-1 overall, and first blood going over to that Morgana.
Yeah. Oh boy. So there's an early game aggressive play from Princess Jenny on the cast. The super early level 3 dive on the bot lane. Looks like we're gonna see Shifo in the mid lane, but looks like Kenzie was gonna walk out. I guess I was like, oh, we're about to see a strike back from Shifo, but it looks like Orianna will be avoiding it.
As an aside, the Caitlyn has gone into 2 longswords, so it does look like we will see a lethality Caitlyn.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not going lethality Caitlyn, then you're probably getting attack speed there. Maybe like boots to be able to deal with the Morgana bindings and a what's the word? And a dagger just to get the attack speed called a day. I mean, I suppose like this could be the makings of a noon quiver, but I have my doubts. I feel like you would want to prioritize the attack speed early on. That champion thrives as you get more attack speed.
Right.
Overall, though, it's been a little quiet since the early goings of the ganks, and I mean, give a lot of credit to Princess Jenny. It was a bold move, and sometimes you just have to play really aggressively to try to get ahead and make things happen. It does put them behind a little bit. They are down a full level now, and not too much in the way of CS, but when your MO is to hit level 6 as fast as possible, and the opposing jungler is going to get up before you, it does feel kind of bad.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's so funny that Fiddlesticks ended up being the first one to make an aggressive gank, an aggressive play. I'm about to say like, yeah, Shifo's been real quiet since that early aggressive play here from Fiddlesticks. What's up, Natalie?
I think that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's totally fine, right? So like your bot lane's struggling really hard, and it looks like Ezreal and Morgana are just gonna have a ton of damage. So you can't see what the Ezreal has purchased, but they've purchased a Sheen along with a Tear. So now Ezreal's hit his early game power spike of getting that Sheen. So it becomes really difficult to kind of gank for that bot lane now. As we see an engagement here, Kenzie is going to land the shockwave onto Tanner, but you see how little damage Kenzie does. The flash has been forced. Tanner still has the flash up. There could be a world where they elect to flash Rift Walk, but they will not. So things are a little rough right now for the mid laner, Kenzie. When you shockwave someone and do that little damage, it just feels terrible.
I will say my thought process as an Orianna, whenever the casting is equal CS to me whenever he's level 6, is like, I have failed my objective laning against
Cheapo must have heard me, came into that bot lane pretty quickly. Your bad connection goes down. Princess Jenny only level 5 for now. Shifo does get hit with the bind, but will be a-okay. So there's another play made in the bottom lane, but this time it's a reversal, and it goes in the favor of the Dryads. The kill going over to that Nidalee, gonna get even stronger now. The Dark Seal has been purchased along with the Sorcerer's Shoes. Okay. Sunset Deserter able to get out of there as the dragon will be started up here. Miss Apples, can you get the steal?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Oh,
that'd be crazy.
That's gonna crap. Nope, that's gonna go over to Shifo V9.
Mhm.
And already it looks like the Dryads are up in early control of the game. And the one lane that I expected to win is actually losing, which is kind of crazy. They did get that jungle assistance, though. It should be a lot easier for them now. Caitlyn still hasn't backed, though, so still a lot of gold in their pocket right now. They did pick up boots, so they are a little bit faster. They're going to be able to dodge out some of these dark bindings from the Morgana. Well, it's 2 plates already going to the side.
Not what you would expect
Coco Beans.
from the Caitlyn lane, right?
Yeah, oh no, not at all. I mean, Ezreal. I will say Ezreal does have more quote effective range than Caitlyn. Ezreal Q goes about the same distance as Caitlyn Q, but has a much lower cooldown. So it does mean that you essentially do have a little bit more range because that ability is up so often. It's considered like your second auto attack, especially since it applies on hits. But when it comes to just regular auto attacks, obviously it's going to be a bit of a rough time. This should be worrisome that they are allowing the push into the lane, especially when they've been so aggressive. And Pixel Wolf and Artha wisely backing off there. They realized that something was up. They're like, hey, we've been getting smacked in this lane so much. We didn't really buy anything extra. Why are we pushing into them? Something's not right here. This is Jenny, able to clear out a ward. Meanwhile, the Leona will take it back here. Ooh, the binding was just late. They didn't have that warded. It would have been a pretty solid catch. At least get a bit of damage down. Maybe get some momentum. But right now, I feel like the game is so glacially paced that it will not favor the Coco Beans. Like, sure, Ezreal. Again, we mentioned the late game, but this Kassadin is gonna be a big issue, along with this Camille. Like, I feel like later on it's gonna be over.
Going to be very comfortable for the rest of the lane in that mid lane. We see Cassidin kind of just been beating up on Orianna. Once that level 6 was reached, Cassidin is like, oh, I have been unlocked. And Cassidin's really taking advantage of that in the mid lane now. It is no longer an Orianna favored lane. Looks like Cassidin is starting to have that priority.
Yeah, and Kassadin went with a Lost Chapter. Orianna's still not with the Lost Chapter, has a Blasting Wand along with components for the Lost Chapter, which feels kind of bad. Normally, that's the first item that you want to complete. They opted in for more damage, but I mean, you still have the magic resistance on this Kassadin. I think the Lost Chapter might have been like a little bit better to just strictly build into. That way you're able to get this mana back. But we do see a fight here in the top lane. Ultimate down from Yuka. Shifo is there. The double knockup from Sunset Deserter, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yuka got much lower than I expected, but they will find the kill on the Sunset Deserter. 3 kills to 1 in favor of the side of the Dryads. It's the second kill for Nidalee. And this Nidalee now with 4 stacks on this Darksteel. It's getting a little scarier.
Starting to see those early game aggression plays, making some.
Crowstorm. Tanner though is able to just rift walk out of there. It's just not going to matter. Like that's the problem now is that Tanner is able to just escape these ganks with impunity. Sunset Deserter teleporting to the top lane, but it's just to catch a wave. On the bot lane, Pixel Wolf has had such a rough go at it. Half health right now. It is really not looking good for them. And yeah, they're down 35 CS and counting. They went first item Mercury Treads as well.
Oh no, the struggle. Oh no. Yeah, Caitlyn's. Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Oh man.
I mean, I understand. Sometimes you're out here riding the struggle bus. I get it. We've all been there. We've all had games like that. But you can't go first item Merc Treads. That's real yikes. Shifo will be able to succeed the dash over the wall, but will be taken down by the Tomcats. Tomcats just able to follow with the Abyssal Voyage. Will be able to blast plant themselves out of there. Just noticed that because the animations are all messed up, Nidalee doesn't actually go into Cougar form.
Oh really? On the stream? Are you serious?
Yeah. I saw Nidalee hop over the wall. I'm like, she can't do that in human form. Wait a minute.
That's so funny.
Now it's the 3rd straight night that I've run into the spectator bug, and it's starting to annoy me. Uh-oh, Princess Jenny, the stun locks are there, Tanner is there.
Oh,
Princess Jenny
feels
goes
bad.
down. Casting out here, Riff walking around, Miss Apples, Kenzie, and your bad connection. They're not trying to let them get away with that without being damaged. There's a two-man shockwave. It is going to land. Artho getting so low, trying to get out of there, but goes down to your bad connection. Sheikbo will be going down as well. Tanner Riff walking in, trying to make some plays, but is very low now. Pixel Wolf is joined. It's a double kill. Make it a triple kill for the Cassidy. No, just two. I'm sorry. It's a double kill. Pixel Wolf got the other one there. But that Rift Walk did so much damage. A Sunset Deserter forced a flash, but it will not matter. The hook shot follows him over the wall, and it is 8 kills to 4 in favor of the Dryads. And this Kassadin is absolutely massive. This Camille's got a big lead. Things are not looking too good for the Coco Beans.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. That's not good at all. That's not according to the plan. You did not want those solo laners to get ahead, because once again, this plays into the team composition of the Dryads, and not just the actual champions, but like how the team is literally composed in terms of the people on the team. They kind of want to play weak side bot and heavy top side, and if they get the gold into the right hands, then it's just like all things are looking up from here, baby. This is what you want. Pixel's doing a very good job of just like kind of like surviving in this bot lane here, and was very good there to help out in that team fight and just get Kassadin. Kassadin was able to get a lot of kills there. Good gold where they wanted to. They're able to get the dragon, and this is what they want. They're doing good here. It looks like Nidalee will not be useless in this late game team fight, in this late game. Like I was saying, like Nidalee needs to have gold in order to be useful, I feel. And Nidalee, I mean, he's farming it up. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Of course, that's what we expect from Shifu.
A little while ago, we did miss that Italy did pick up the Rift Heralds. Does have that in the inventory right now.
Oh.
I know y'all can't see it. Israel did finish the Divine Sunder, so it's 1 mythic apiece on both sides as Cassin opted into the Everfrost. No, Camille actually has Divine Sunder as well, so it's 2-1 in favor of the Dryads for the Mythics. Oriana's still lagging behind a little bit. Did finally pick up that lost chapter. Fiddlesticks with nothing but pieces right now. You know, they have the Sorcerer Shoes, the Hextech Alternator. Tanner trying to find an engagement onto Kenzie here. There is the Crow Storm out, but it just doesn't matter. Tanner is just able to rift walk out of there. It's a 2-man Everfrost and is just gone. And it seems like they haven't learned. Like, the Cassin is just able to leave. Turret goes down. Your bad connection picking that one up. The engagement onto Miss Apples. They will hit the Zonias, but Pixel Wolf is so low. The last auto attack is enough to kill him. Your bad connection taken very low, but Artho will find the kill and is now on the chase for Miss Apples. Will land the Zenith Blade. The stun goes down. Artho doesn't really have the damage. Are they going to be able to get another Zenith Blade? Here's the stun. It's a support fight. Supportal combat. No, the Zenith Blade is just out of reach.
Wait, how is my directed camera different than you guys' directed camera? Oh god, that was crazy. But there was something happened at the top lane. Chiefo was able to
exactly why I'm watching the producer stream.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, whoa, we're looking at different things. But
yeah, I noticed that a little while ago myself. There's engaging the top lane. Chiefo does just so much damage. Princess Jenny going from full HP to about 25% in the blink of an eye. And let me tell you, the only thing more terrifying than a Nidalee jumping on you is a human form Nidalee jumping on you. That just ain't right. The bottom lane for the side of the Coco Beans is finally rotated over to the top side, but this doesn't mean they will lose out on this dragon. The priority on the map just in favor of the Dryads at this point. I'm not sure if there's anything the Coco Beans can do. They haven't been able to put their wombo combo team comp together. They've been trying to do it on the slipperiest member of the Dryads, and it has not worked, and they're shying away from the fights where it would be so impactful. They're just not able to try to pick a 4v4 and get these ultimates down.
You know, this human form Nidalee thing reminds me of like my favorite visual bug I've seen in League of Legends.
All right, I stand corrected. As sorry to interrupt. As the Gale Force has been completed by the Caitlyn.
Indeed, it has. Okay, so
right.
Not the build that we thought.
I had a bone to pick with that because everybody's going to be running from the Camille, the Cassin, and the Nidalee. All of those champions are, you know, they're like we mentioned earlier, are champions that are able to cheat on movement. Caitlyn is going to be so far behind in these team fights just because she's got to hoof it everywhere that you would like to have those max damage ace in the holes.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's the one where Caitlyn And there may be quite a few fights where that's the only way
And
that Caitlyn will be able to contribute to the fight.
And also, if you're going into Mercury treads, now you just lack the attack speed. So you're going into attack speed and build that is really reliant on attack speed without any attack speed other than your Gale Force, which just I'm not. It just seems like there's a disconnect there, and you could just maybe itemize a little bit better for that. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily going to matter. The gold lead is only it's just under 3K right now, contrary to what you might be seeing on the stream. But these late game champions have been accelerated early now, and it's going to be problematic for the side of the Cocoa Beans. I just feel like that they're going to have a really rough time. It is kind of crazy to see traditional late game champions like Ezreal, like Kassadin, out here with 3 kills apiece, and really the big pain point for these opposite sides. Passing the 19-minute mark as an engagement is made by Sunset Deserter, but Sunset Deserter, you are in a lot of trouble here. They've consumed the Camille, getting him under the turret, but the shield does fade away. A flash made, but there is the Hextech ultimatum. They will trade 1-for-1 overall. That'll be Fiddlesticks picking up the kill on Yuka, but Yuka picking up the kill on the Tahm Kench Sunset Destroyer. 1-for-1 overall. Finally, 19 minutes into the game, Fiddlesticks is on the board. Seems like the first Crow Storm that actually had a big impact.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some more coordinated team fights here.
Now imagine if you were doing that, like not on the Kassadin, but you were doing it on, some other members like the bot lane or the top laner even. Like, obviously the Camille hookshot is a problem, but you can body block the Camille hookshot. Like it's totally fine to do that. But they didn't do that, and it was a lot of wasted time and a lot of failed ganks early on, as we see some teleports coming out here. Camille coming in, Orianna coming in, Orianna getting absolutely blown up though. There's a 3-man shockwave. Orianna solo. Can you get out of there? Kassadin's Rift walking around. That's going to be a kill. Shifo's
my God.
Up. Sunset Deserter solo. Can you get out of there? The lick. Sunset Deserter goes down. Shifo goes down. Yuka picks up the kill, gets the wave. They do have a wave crashing into the bottom turret. It could mean bot in a turret. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, your bad connection trying to make some plays with Pixel Wolf. I promise you on the stream, they are actually alive. They are backing right now. They are not dead just standing there like Shifo in the bottom lane. No, that Caitlyn is very much alive. They're sticking around for more. You could catch a stray Mystic shot and just get sent packing to the base. Your bad connection trying to break down this turret, and they will. Arcane Shift is there, but here comes Tanner from the side. The Everfrost, the Roots, the damage. Princess Jenny, there's not too much you can do. Tanner is still alive. Now Yuka coming in from the side. Princess Jenny has been caught. The Hextech ultimatum was thrown down, and here comes the chase. The slow from the ultimate. Ace in the hole. Miss Apples is dead. The ace was put in the hole. That is a kill for Pixel Wolf with the Gale Force. You don't need any lethality.
Like on the team, Miss Apples continued to walk down into the jungle after death.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, did they get out with like little HP? I said to myself, there's no way Caitlyn does that little damage right now.
Exactly, right?
But like, I looked at the Caitlyn build, I'm kind of like, maybe they do that little damage. Like that would feel terrible, but
no,
they did pick up a last whisper. Both AD carries have picked up the last whisper as their second item. It's kind of wild. I got to be honest with you. It feels strange.
So let me explain. 77,000 gold and 30 kills in 21 minutes? Yeah, man, this game's been insane!
It's kind of crazy. I casted the game on Friday. It was actually very similar to that. It had the bug, but even without the bug, it was super similar. As you find Tanner doing a lot of damage. Here comes Princess Jenny. They get in there. The Zonias has been dropped, but there are no members able to follow up. Pixel Wolf is going to find the kill as Artha went back over the wall. A good job zoning right there. The Dryads take the dragon. They take a kill, and their lead continues to grow. The team is healthy. They've moved to the mid lane. The Baron could be on the table. Quick item check for these guys. Camille is on the Ravenous Hydra along with the Divine Sunder. Hextech Rocket Belt, Zonia's Hourglass for the Nidalee. Zonia's picked up by Kassadin. We mentioned the Caitlyn already. Unsurprisingly, the Locket going in for this Leona. Sunset Deserter could be in a little bit of trouble. Tanner goes in, will have the Zonias. The Dark Binding does not land. So much damage being dealt to the backline of the squad. Your bad connection's gonna have to Arcane Shift out of there. We'll have to burn the Flash. Sunset Deserter also very low. And going in, getting the kill. Pixel Wolf picking that one up now. Yuka is in the thick of things. The ace in the hole is blocked from the backline. It's Shifo. 1v9 is just running the backline. A double kill. It is a 5-for-0 ace in favor of the Dryads. They are looking stronger than ever.
Oh man, things are not looking good here for Coco Beans. Like I said, yeah,
they're all still alive, right?
yeah, they're just standing there menacingly.
Menacingly, if Kalen built lethality, they would have had the extra, they would have been lethal enough to be able to kill them actually, instead of having them stand there in T-pose. Baron getting lower and lower. Ezreal, do you have an ultimate? Not quite. That is going to be the Baron going to the side of the Dryads. The Dryads have a near 12k gold lead. We'll call it 11.5. They are absolutely massive right now.
Are we not in sync, Breast Phantom? With the producer? This better just bugged AF. Oh, I don't think pausing and playing would fix. I think we would have to disconnect.
So I'm not quite sure about that, because I don't know if I mentioned it in the first game. I had that issue. I paused, I went back 15 seconds, then I unpaused, and they showed up.
Really? I mean, if we want to try
we'll have to mess with it.
Yeah, I have no problem trying it if production.
The biggest problem is that you have to try to force a game to bug out, and then you have to try to repair from there, or obviously just see. I'm sure somebody's posting on Reddit or somewhere around on how to fix the spectator bug. That's the first thing I'm doing when we're done this series. Is going downstairs to my regular gaming setup, and the first thing I'm googling is how to fix this damn spectator bug.
Yeah, we would like to have a surefire way to fix it, because it would suck to be further behind on live, like from these players, and end up trying some type of fix that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for a game 2 where it's kind of lopsided, obviously we didn't know into it that it was going to be lopsided, but had we just done it for this game, it would probably be okay. I don't see a world where they're able to come back into this game. The gold lead is just a little bit too big of a gap.
It's 12k for those on stream that think it's 24.
I mean, it may as well be 24 at this point, right? Oh my god. Yuka
that does definitely
on the top lane, went on a rampage. Tanner from the side will be engaged on by Princess Jenny, but Tanner is just going to be able to rift walk out of there like they've done all game long. Princess Jenny, how many times has this happened? You have to use your ultimate on different targets. Yuka, the pressure is there. The split push with the Baron and powered minions. Miss Apples went down in the mid lane, and now the mid lane inhibitor turret will fall at about the same time as the top lane inhibitor turret. The team on the side of the Dryads, they are doing whatever damage they can to this inhibitor in the top lane, in the mid lane. Mid lane inhibitor goes down. Top lane inhibitor going down shortly. Are they going to be able to get any extra damage in? Here comes the ultimate. Here comes the engagement. Lots of damage down. Princess Jenny will go down. Shifo is going godlike now. Arthur trying to get out of there after tanking up the turrets. Pixel Wolf taking a lot of damage themselves. Tanner will actually fall to the AD carry. Are they able to push these guys out of the base? Sunset Deserter moving forward. Miss Apples forcing the flash into Artho. Kenzie is a little slow, but they're trying to get them more. I don't know how they can get more moon speed other than the W. Miss Apples finds a kill on Artho. The ultimate from the Ezreal will not hit anybody, and they hold. They lose a lot, but the Coco Beans have held strong.
That's true. The game's not over. This will be a nice little ocean. This will be nice little ocean soul. The game's technically not over. The Nexus has not exploded.
All right, if you're the Coco Beans right now, how do you win this game? You're the Coco Beans coach. We're CS:GO now. You're the Coco Beans coach, and you get to call a tactical timeout. What are you telling these? What are you telling these guys?
Oh man, this entry was so much easier last game, but they just kind of ignored me. Oh Jeez. Do they even have
So
decent
last
leads?
time,
I mean,
so
yeah,
last time you told them don't fight, and they fought. So
yeah,
what
that's
about
true.
this time?
I mean, in general, it's bad to fight whenever you're down. At the like, they don't. There's no neutral objectives to play for. Oh god, do they have scaling? Do they?
I
It,
mean,
it seems like in
so they
technicality, a
have
good.
scaling.
Technically, it's funny. Technically, it seems like their team fight should be better. Like there's the champions like the Oriana plus the Fiddlesticks and some engagement from the TK. Looks like their team fight shouldn't be all that bad because they're kind of playing as more individual people like the like Sifo, like Nidalee and Cassidon aren't necessarily. Cassidon's pretty good. Nidalee's not necessarily the greatest team fighter, and so it feels like they should, if they could get a pick, be able to win these fights. But I don't know, they're so far behind.
Shockwave attempt by that Oriana there, but Tanner was just able to rift walk out of there. Going back to the stop burning your ultimates onto Tanner train, it has not worked all game long. That's a big cooldown you're losing. Yeah, you're kind of behind the 8 ball here. It seems like it's going to be difficult to win this game, but you cannot afford to do that. Finding landed on the Pixel Wolf, but it does not matter. Miss Apples is so low, took one Nidalee spear to the face, and it's just
One?
not looking so
Oh
good.
no.
Yeah, and these minions are just absolutely running the base right now. They took out a Nexus turret, Sunset Deserter, and Your Bad Connection doing what they can to stop the minions from pushing in, but they're here. Princess Jenny has to go off to the side to help clear. Tanner.
I feel like you had to engage under your last power.
Here we go. There is the ultimate from Princess Jenny. The Crow Storm is doing about the solid damage, I guess. Sunset Deserter had gone down earlier in the fight. Miss Apples is dead. Your Bad Connection is dead. The team is dead. The pentakill stolen by Pixel Wolf. Tanner's probably a little upset, but maybe this win will cushion the blow of the lost pentakill as the Dryads run over the Cocoa Beans in a 2-game set, 2-0.
Banner too good. God damn, says Cursive. And that will be the 2-0 victory there for the Dryads. Yeah, very unfortunate how that turned out there. That second game just got really rough really quickly. They weren't really able to play correct, like well, like around the Cassidon. Cassidon just kind of got what they wanted. And Cassidon just their team comes really bad as a Cassidon. It's just not. They can't really deal with them. The Ezreal did their absolute best. Your Bad Connection doing quite a bit of damage. They're doing 19,000, almost 20,000 damage, doing the second most amount of damage in the game. But of course, Cassidon and Nidalee, and just like I said, that's just a. I mean, look, it's topside. The team is topside. You look at those graphs, you see that most of the damage done by Dryads were done through their topside, and bot lane just like they were winning bot lane too. As in Coco Means was winning bot lane pretty hard, but bot lane stayed steady. They did their job, and they let just top lane just top side of the map just go to